to reduce Singapore's overdependence on cheap foreign labour, as well as to increase the income of low-wage workers here, former National Wages Council Chairman Professor Lim Chong Yah re-emphasised the need for his wage proposal to be reconsidered. Professor Lim's proposal drew much criticism after he first mentioned it in April this year. His bold 3-year plan included a wage freeze for top earners, raising the income of the lowest paid workers by 15% each year for the first 2 years and 20% in the third year. Instead of relying on tax transfers from the government, Professor Lim hopes the low-income group can become more self-reliant with a higher take-home salary.
I sometimes wonder whether in Singapore we are moving to the cradle-to-grave system. That government, we expect the government to look after us from cradle to grave. But a friend of mine said, I don't think so. I disagree with you. It should be from the womb to the tomb.
Critics have said that small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, may not be able to cope with the proposed rise in wages. However, the veteran economist claims such a move will mostly affect the labour-intensive industries in a knowledge-based economy like Singapore.
If they are export-oriented companies, the prices are determined outside Singapore. So it will affect their profit. It might affect their profit margin. But I doubt very much. It's only those companies that are very heavily dependent on cheap labor. But those companies that have not so dependent on cheap labor, I think they can get out of the problem quite easily.
If companies are unable to facilitate such a wage increase, then a minimum wage of $1,000 per month may be considered, but only as a last resort. Professor Lim arrived at a $1,000 figure as it would make our per-hour wage levels comparable to that of South Korea, which has a similar standard of living as Singapore. Since the public debate of Professor Lim's wage shock therapy, the National Trades Union Congress, or NTUC, has spearheaded the move to increase the incomes of those earning less than $1,000 a month by at least $50. However, he hopes that more aspects of his proposal will be implemented in future. In the next clip, Professor Lim addresses the second part of his wage proposal, freezing the incomes of top earners for 3 years.